My name is Yuting Chen.
My name is Vincent Dufke.
My name is Gihong Kiki Park, and we are the three of the members who work with the graphics for the event. Public discussion, Träume von der post-kolonialen Republik. Thanks.
When I saw the theme of this project, the first artist, Barbara Huger, came to my mind. And she is an American conceptual artist whose work often use like black and white photographies as based for the poster and for her works. And use it pronouns like I, you, and we, and thee to speak directly to the audience. And it's inspired me use some bold, high contrast graphics. And so Dada inspired like cut and paste collage. And those chaotic and spontaneous graphics helped me subvert familiar images.
So my first association in terms of graphic design and decolonial struggle was actually OSPAL. OSPAL was a movement founded in Cuba to sort of promote solidarity with the people of Asia, Africa, and Latin America. And they became quite famous also in the graphic design world for their posters. They were using really strong, simple, but also brilliant artwork, often featuring militant symbols and bright colors. And we are really fascinated by that and really interested in that politically, but also visually. But with this project, we knew that this was not the way to go for us, since we are working for a department of a federal state of Germany and designing for an event organized by this department. And that's not any federal state, but it's Hamburg, which is probably the one that profited the most from colonial exploitation. So from the start, we knew that this needs a different visual language than we knew from OSPA, something more subtle, maybe.
It's sort of important. I think we wanted to find some kind of meeting point of various references or various ideas as well. And me personally, I thought about like how we can really work together. And because, for example, after living in Germany or also meanwhile living in South Korea, regarding on which city where we born, where we grew up, which region where we grew up, I think there's a lot of different cultural aspects or different kind of perspectives that we grow up to learn with as well. And especially like Yuting from Zibo, from the northern part of the China, Jan from Hamburg, from Germany, and me from Seoul, from South Korea. I think it was such a various, or like it was hard to find like the one point to meet together. So at the end we thought about how about just layering them, because as we have like exist in the different type of sort of layers, then we thought maybe we can work with really together and be combined as one at the end, even though it's not such a straightforward graphics as we expected as a trendy as well. But we thought this kind of sort of mixed up moments are actually beautiful by itself as well, regarding on the topic of decolonization as well. So
instead of emulating a singular visual idea, we want to show different views and perspectives. also this event bring us together, like three designers from three countries, and to translate this into a visual idea. That's why we choose the concept of layers. It's like when one group take over land or people, you still can see the left hand, the left behind back, and it's not everything changing by forever.
So to sort of find a translation for this, like a graphic design translation for what you just mentioned, we thought about this production of silkscreen, where each color of the print is applied on one another. And it was also helpful that this was not one event, but 4 events. So the poster could be something ongoing. And at some point we decided to make it not one poster, but like a poster series, which would have 4 layers of silkscreen, like 4 colors going on top of each other. And some would shine through and others would cover one another. And to come to this design, we sort of developed our own visual material. So we try to embrace and to collect all the ideas that we have, collect symbols, put them together, put them on top of each other, sometimes use them to mask one another. So there is some elements of like maps, a grid, like quotes of, or like references of territory, but also this number of 4 is kind of important, maybe because we were also thinking about democracy and pillars of democracy. So we would try to set the type in 4 columns, which is maybe not so common. And also on our leaflet, we did it that way to give a certain translation on these topics of like, yeah, let's say power, democracy, territory, within graphic design, print, layers, color shining through, or paper shining through, one symbol masking one another.
I think it's also, as you mentioned, the type of using the silkscreen techniques was really natural as we talked about the layers, like printing with several colors. We have to make several different plates to produce one poster. Like when you say like 4 colors, then we need to print 4 different times. So we thought actually the technique by itself was really natural to use it, not using any sort of digital printing houses. Rather, we do it by our own hands as well. And in the meanwhile, doing it or planning of using the silkscreen technique, I thought about actually it's kind of really interesting because this sort of colonization of being products or being like take something out of it from different places even as well. And this sort of idea of productivity, actually what we did with the silkscreen are inefficient. Like it takes more time, it takes more energy, maybe it takes more money even as well. And we thought actually using this technique, also this idea by itself, actually, yeah, we thought really fits to how we deal with the topic of decolonization. And at the end, it was also really beautiful, 4 different columns, 4 different type of colors at the end mixed up as one, and it became as a sort of, yeah, became one at the end. So
we send up the file on the online, and the second people can download on the computer and continue to working on and send up to the third people, like a circle, something continue to work. And it's hard because somehow the file it's very big, and we need always keep the memory to upload. Yeah.
I guess it was also affected by the fact that we were printing together and we were really producing this amount of copies together. And we were sort of like in a bit of stress to do it, because if you print 100 posters with silk screen, you have to take care that the print is not drying in the screen, and you have to work sort of fast. But at the same time, we had to work really precise, because all the designs, all the layers have to really precisely fit on top of one another. So it's something that, like, I guess you have a lot of experience with silk screen. I had somehow experience before, and I'm really still surprised that we managed to do it so precise in such a quick workflow. So that's what I guess is also something that affected the whole design, that we were like working together really fast with our hands. And then we were printing, I think it was like 100 copies, but we would not hand 100 copies out to promote the first event, but we would keep 80 copies and just hand out 20 to hang them. And we would keep those 80 copies with the first layer to apply the second layer, and then keep 60 copies and give away 20. So it was a bit of a interesting calculation to create the series of posters, and to also have this effect of having the first poster in one color, the second poster in two colors, but there's also a third color when the two layers are on top of each other and the colors are mixing. With the third, it was a very unexpected outcome, I would say. So we were always sort of curious what will happen if we print one layer on the other layer. I mean, we tested this in advance, but sometimes it came out different than we expected. I guess that was something that was really influencing the finished piece very much. But what I think is also interesting, that the same, like this design was also used on digital media, like social media. And I guess the event was also highly promoted through digital media, and maybe not so much on this relatively low print run of posters. Like the posters were only hanging in certain institutions, but through digital media, I guess more people would notice the event. But the design would look very different if we would not have went through all this like inefficient process. So I'm really interested in this aspect of like efficiency and how the final outcome is affected by this sort of process.
I think what both of you talked also connects to this idea of inefficiency as well. This sort of like sharing the file, something unexpected also happens while printing silk screen with our own hand. A lot of unexpected moments happen, some failure happens. That's also why we wanted to keep a little bit more than to be safe, because at the end we wanted to hang the good condition of the poster on the street. So this sort of idea of being safe, but also of there's always some unexpected moment will become to us. And I think this idea of working three together for one posters was not easy, but also was really a great experience that at the end, likewise, any kind of industry actually are sort of collective process. Likewise, when we wanted to produce a single poster, we need to talk with editor, we need to talk with a printing house, someone who in the work in the office, someone who really printed, someone who really make the inks. I think you can really expand it a lot. But this ideas of, even though we produced as posters or graphics for this whole event, but at the end we're just one of the link of this massive groups of collaboration. So this idea of working three was also not easy, but we, in a way, in the like closer point, we see how we are managing or how we learning from each other, how we work together. So it was a long process, but great journey at the end. So